can I just confirm you all work in France?
Yes, we do.
But you're not all French.
No.
Would you like to introduce where you're from?
Okay, I'm from France.
France. Okay.
I'm from Ireland.
Uh-huh.
And I'm from Germany.
Okay, lovely. So we've had a little discussion about dyslexia, and there's a couple of things I'd like to ask you. First of all, how many dyslexic students do you have?
It's actually quite an embarrassing question because we don't know. And there are absolutely no statistics in the school about well, the ratio or the number of dyslexic people we have.
Okay.
No idea.
No idea.
Okay, and knowing that, how does that make you feel? Are you shocked?
Angry.
Limited.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's very, very frustrating because there are some, clearly,
Yeah.
but they're being ignored.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some students, they actually go to see the admin and actually talk about their dyslexia because then they get some extra time for some of the exams.
Mm-hmm.
But others decide not to because they don't want to get any extra treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very.
Yeah. And I was going to say, and the info doesn't seem to be communicated anywhere because some people may have the info that this student is dyslexic, but they don't necessarily inform the teachers. And I think it would be useful information to know about that.
Yeah, I'm information.
No, it's private information.
Oh,
yeah.
Personal information.
Right, yeah, okay,
info.
data protection,
Yeah,
etc.,
that's
etc. Yeah. So what kind of provision does the college have for dyslexia?
I think the only time is actually the extra time, the extra third time for exams.
That's it.
Yeah,
I can't think of anything else that's put in place for the students.
Okay,
Yeah.
and what about during the classrooms themselves?
Nothing.
There's nothing from on an institutional level. There's nothing that has really been communicated. I think.
No.
And
There's
then
no
when
policy?
There's as far as I'm aware, there's no policy. There's nothing that we have been made aware of.
No.
Okay.
And some of our colleagues actually use, well, I know one colleague actually, she used one of the fonts, but in fact you've just told us that it's actually counterproductive or it
Yeah, they
doesn't
don't
make
always work,
any
yeah.
difference.
Yeah, yeah. That's it's quite shocking. So
Yeah.
the college thinks it's acceptable to provide extra time in exams, but not extra time in the learning. And so mathematically, that seems like they're effectively taking away learning time.
Yep.
Okay, okay. What about the French government? Do you know what provision the French government has for dyslexia?
So I know that at secondary school level, that's what I'm talking about, I think. Once the psychologists are called by the school or go to a school and try to identify kids who have dyslexia.
Yeah.
And I just know of a kid who, as I was saying earlier on, who was provided with a computer to facilitate his learning. Not quite sure it was effective.
Yeah, because he was copying from the book.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's dysgraphic. Dysgraphic, is that right?
Yeah.
And also, from what I know, the kid felt isolated from the rest of the group and just didn't want to use that leading computer.
Yeah, yeah.
Right in front of the others.
Yeah. One of the big things that people with dyslexia often feel is this sense of shame of being treated differently. And yeah, I mean, I felt that when I was certified, when I was recognised, I felt a sense of shame. So yeah.
No, just before your workshop, actually, I've talked to one of our colleagues who couldn't, or didn't want to come because he was not comfortable with English, but he was telling me about his son who is working for a company. And nobody knows about his dyslexia, and he gets complaints about spelling mistakes when he sends emails. So I said to the colleague, well, why doesn't your son communicate to his bosses or actually talk about it? And he said, well, no, because he hasn't got a permanent contract yet, and he's afraid of being dismissed.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And it could happen. I mean, it shouldn't, but it could, and it has happened. What about teacher training? Is there much concentration or much focus on dyslexia in teacher training in France?
So you're the only person who has done teacher training in France.
It was years ago, so no, I've absolutely no idea. No, there's one thing I remember, but I would have to think about it to be clear. But a few years ago, I remember teaching, doing teacher training with some colleagues, and I remember that somebody gave a conference about all the this.
Yeah,
and insisting to future primary school teachers, and insisting on the fact that the environment had to adapt to the kids and not the other way around. Okay, so that's theory. I've no idea what the practice looks like.
Maybe it's happening. And what about then in Ireland, the Republic of Ireland?
Based on my brother and my sister-in-law's experience, now the government is really starting to wake up to anything to do with learning disabilities at all. But for so long when I was in school, for example, or my sister was in school, so she's a lot younger than me, there was nothing. There was nothing at all. Nothing at all. So they're starting to wake up now.
Starting to wake up now, yeah.
Luckily my nephew goes to a school where they really take it seriously, so they have like a special sensory room that the children can go to. They're taught different kind of techniques to kind of calm themselves down, for example, if they find themselves frustrated. For the kids who have dyslexia, I think they have like a special class, but I think the special class is a good idea to help them learn techniques, but as well that isolates the kids as well. So they're taken out of class, and the other kids notice that they're taken out of class, and the other kids are like, okay, why do you get special treatment? And what's wrong with you? That's the thing, what's wrong with you, because it's not explained to the children.
And are you getting an easier ride than the rest of us?
Exactly.
And I'm just thinking, listening to you, of something which is actually on a more positive note. One of our students, I think he must have taken the famous TOEIC at least 10 times, and he never got it actually. So at some point, the director of studies said, well, is there a way actually we can come up with an exam that would actually prove that he's got the necessary level in English in order to get his engineering degree? So we came up with a different kind of exam, which was actually based just on oral communication.
Visual support and oral communication around.
And how did the student do in this situation?
We had actually two cases. One I had a year ago, and the other student is more recent.
A few weeks ago.
A few weeks ago. Both did fine.
They did pretty well.
So once you've taken the literacy aspect away from the TOEIC, the students stopped failing, or they did a lot better.
They did.
Fine. I mean, is there any specific thing you wish you had learnt, or you wish you knew while you're teachers about dyslexia that perhaps you haven't known until now, or that you
discovered today? Just the signs. Like even because we have the basic kind of signs, but other things I didn't realise at all. And I'm quite embarrassed as well that I didn't know, or that I never took the time to actually look. That's the truth as well.
And I didn't know about the strengths either. Actually, I was focusing on all the difficulties.